Palmer Maraj, and the Minister of Energy, the Honorable Dr. Rudal Munilal. So this evening, I'd like to welcome the Minister of Trade and Tourism to speak to you on a very critical matter which will impact many lives and many citizens. So, Minister Maraj, we invite you to the podium this evening.
Thank you very much, and good day, everyone. The Cabinet has approved the increase in the permissible age of importation of foreign use right hand drive private cars as sports utilities, SUVs, sedans, and station wagons powered by gasoline, dieseline, or compressed natural gas, CNG, from 3 years to under 8 years and, and under from the date of manufacture. Two, the increase of 30% in the annual quota assigned to registered dealers of foreign used cars who have been actively using their quota amounts over the last 3 years. Three, the increase in the permissible age of importation of light commercial vehicles, pickup and panel vans, inclusive of diesel engines from 7 years and under to 10 years and under from the date of manufacture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to the Minister of Trade and Tourism, Minister Maraj. We'd like to invite the Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation to make an announcement as well that was approved in today's cabinet.
Thank you, MP Morris. Good evening to members of the media, the viewing and listening public. I have one announcement today. Cabinet has approved the establishment of the regulatory framework for the registration and management of classic, antique, and vintage vehicles in Trinidad and Tobago. Currently, there is no legal framework in Trinidad and Tobago for the recognition, registration, and regulated use of classic, antique, and vintage vehicles. This absence has restricted the lawful use of such vehicles and limited economic potential. In light of the above, the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation, guided by international best practices, including those of the Federation International Automobile FIA Historic Commission, and informed by submissions of the Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Association, TTAA, proposed the establishment of a ministry-led policy and legislative framework to regulate this emerging sector, beginning with the creation of a formal classification and registry system to facilitate the safe and limited use of classic, antique, and vintage vehicles on our nation's roads. This initiative aligns with the government's strategic objective for transport modernization, heritage preservation, and tourism diversification. There will be three legal categories: classic motor vehicles, which will be vehicles 25 years old from the date of original manufacture; antique motor vehicles, at least 45 years old from the date of original manufacture; and vintage motor vehicles, at least 95 years old from the date of original manufacture. Thank you. Morris.
Thank you very much, Minister Zakur. As we said earlier, this is today's post-cabinet meeting, post-cabinet media briefing, and at today's cabinet meeting, a number of issues were discussed and approved, and today we also like to invite the Minister of Energy to discuss with you how he is revitalizing and re-energizing our national energy sector. Let's welcome the Minister of Energy, Dr. Rudal Munilal.
Mocked by his wife's family for riding a bike, he showed up in a Lamborghini on their...
Thank you very much, Mr. Morris. Good afternoon to members of the press, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. It is my pleasure to stand before you today and speak to a very important matter that has arisen only this morning. Today, the Cabinet took note of a very important piece of news coming out of BPTT, This morning, as some of you may be aware, BPTT announced that they had completed the 3 wells in the SIP project. That would have a total of 7 wells. And collectively, this one project can contribute another 10% to our natural gas output. It's an extremely significant development. I want to begin by congratulating the BPTT team on the successful completion of the SIP project. The SIP subsea development is made up of 7 wells. BPTT announced the first gas from SIP in March 2025 after completion of phase 1 with 4 wells. Today we are glad to see the additional 3 wells for phase 2 are now online. May I now indicate that this has been done significantly ahead of schedule. In fact, ahead of schedule is now the new norm under the second administration of Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. These wells were originally planned to come online in 2026. However, in collaboration with the Ministry of Energy, BPTT was able to accelerate first gas for phase 2 in 2025. This efficiency augurs well for our natural gas supply. At peak production, SIP is expected to deliver 45,000 barrels of oil equivalent, more or less 250 mmsctu. We are now in a state where I can now proudly announce that our gas production will increase by a significant amount given all the various projects that are now expected to come online. This development is particularly pleasing at this time since the SIP project is a result of incentives provided by the People's Government 14. SIP is based on natural gas discovered at the Macadamia well, which was drilled in 2017, combined with the Southeast Queens Beach SEQB gas reservoirs. Significant volumes of natural gas will be produced from SIP from those discoveries way back in 2017. I would like to just add that BP's investment in this exploration well arose because of the accelerated capital allowance for exploration, which was passed into law in April 2014 by the passage of the Finance Bill 2014. This exploration incentive had a sunset clause, meaning that it expired on December 31st, 2017. It was for that reason that BP drilled that exploration well in March 2017 and the Savannah exploration well in 2016. The Savannah exploration well resulted in the Matapal project, which has been in production since 2021. If the exploration incentive was not provided in 2014, these 2 projects would not have materialized and our natural gas production would be much worse than it currently is. Our energy sector remains integral to our economy, and resources from the SIP project play an important role in strengthening Trinidad and Tobago's natural gas supply. We have indicated before that upon taking office, we had a sustained decline over 10 years in both oil production and natural gas. Today, with this expansion and this ahead of time scheduling for the 3 wells, we expect that we'll have a significant amount of natural gas available in the next year and certainly into 2027. We are extremely pleased and once again would like to congratulate Mr. David Campbell and his team at BP. I've also taken note of the hastily posted statement by the former Minister of Energy, who wasted no time to let loose a posting on social media. It was quite ironic that when we were speaking of establishing the legal framework for attracting and incentivizing investment, his claim to fame on this project was that he visited the pipes in Chaguaramas. Ladies and gentlemen, with this project and others in the pipeline, so to speak, we expect that this sector will get a much needed boost as we move forward, notwithstanding the inherited problems of gas shortage, which we found in April 2028 upon entering office. Thank you, and we'll take any questions that the media may have.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monilal. We'd like to
Okay, gentlemen, I'd like to hear your comments on that. Suban, Ken.
Yeah, well, I saw the, I guess, the favorable importation of used cars. It was moved from, I think 3 years to 6 or 7 years old. So that means you can get more affordable price cars. Also for commercial vehicles as well, both gasoline and diesel. So that was a first, by extending the age of the vehicle means you can lower the price as you go along. So again, the consumers will be the net beneficiary of this initiative. Secondly, I wanted to touch on Dr. Munilal speech, when he said that there's a growing optimism in the oil and gas field, with I think 3 new wells coming on stream, which was due to come in next in 2026, and they already came on stream recently. So that's a good positive outlook again. The thing is that you are seeing that the UNC ministers are performing, all of them are performing on the job and achieving results which could not have or was not achieved by the PNM ministers. And one asks the question, how come? Nothing has changed, so to speak. I mean, the world economy is as it was. A lot of geopolitical issues, the war with the little interaction with the US and Venezuela, Russia and the Ukraine, Israel and Gaza, India, China buying Russian oil, and Trump tariffs, and so on. The whole geopolitical world has been changing. But how come these incentives and this increase in production of oil and gas in Trinidad could not have been achieved previously? So one wonders what the reason. Is it that the UNC has opened up and negotiated favorable agreements with the oil companies? I would like to think so. So we've seen an increase in both oil and gas production. That's what I gathered from today's post-cabinet meeting. Yeah, Ken?
Well, it seems very optimistic moving forward.
Yes, definitely.
We're a hydrocarbon producer. It accounts for a large part of our GDP, and that is very optimistic. And again, the time frame, ahead of schedule. You hardly hear
Yes,
this in Trinidad today, right? So that's a big plus there. It shows that the government is working, they're putting things in place, right? Because they want to revive the economy, right? Um, as far as the used car dealers, with the revised date for manufacture from 3 to 8 years, that in itself will make used cars much more affordable to the general public, right? Because you have an option to buy a much older vehicle, I guess, for obviously working in good working condition, and people can now afford a vehicle who
mm-hmm.
can't, right? So yeah, so that's a big plus also, because we got to think about the people who can't afford, right? Have to depend on the public service transport, as the only means and method. Now, what about the people? We spoke to a lady a couple days ago. That's the nurse from Canada,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
she's originally from Beach,
Beach, yes.
and she was talking about the lack of transportation to come out of that area, right? So yeah, so once people can afford, or there's affordable vehicles on the market, right, because of the age increase, now they could be able to buy a small little vehicle to go to the groceries, to go to the doctor, and so forth.
Correct.
So that's
Correct.
a big plus there, and it shows that the government is thinking about the people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's no disconnect there. In fact, there's a connection, a strong connection with government and people, right? Because so much We hear stories from the people who have experienced, you know, some heartaches and heartbreaks. That same person, 2 shows ago, Miss Farida Ramnath,
Mm-hmm.
to hear her story dealing with her mom and trying to get her through the healthcare system there with,
Yes,
with, a,
yes.
with a potential malpractice suit. And then her brother has to come with his vehicle and they have to put her in the vehicle with a blanket, with a sheet, all this sort of stuff, right? So yeah, so transportation is a big plus here. It's now more readily available to the masses, to people of lower income bracket, right?
Okay,
And again,
gentlemen, hold on for a second. This is our counselor and guest here, Counselor Richard Sukde out of the Chaguanas Borough East Borough Corporation, Chaguanas Borough Corporation. Richard, you hearing us? He hasn't come all the way. Go ahead. I'm waiting for him to.
yeah. So it shows there's a connection, right?
But um, just to cut you across there,
Yeah, that.
you know that the PNM deliberately kept the age 3 years and under. And that was to facilitate the 1%. The new car
Richard,
dealer.
you haven't come all the way in. I don't know. We've seen you partially. Okay.
Yes, Ken, that was to
Yeah.
facilitate the new car dealers. What it meant is that the price of new cars and the price of the foreign use are basically in tandem. So people had no choice but to take the new cars instead of the foreign use.
Our friend Dr. Maraj is here too. Richard, are you hearing us? If you're hearing us, somehow we're not getting you all the way in. You're here, but I'm not hearing or seeing anything from you.
He may need to enter. Gary.
Good night. Good night.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, good night, Doc.
Good night to all. Good night to Trinidad and Tobago. I
Yeah,
think
man.
the no volume.
Yeah, we hearing you loud and clear. Yeah, you hearing Ken, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm hearing him.
I was saying that
Okay.
the new cars was priced just above the foreign used cars. So people, instead of going after the foreign used car, they went after the new cars. That was to facilitate the 1%. All the Answer Macal and all the companies that Massey and what have you. And now by extending the time from 3 years to 7 or 8 years, it means that the used cars are no longer close to the new cars prices, meaning
Correct.
that instead of like 10 or 20,000 as it was before, now you could get like 60 to 70,000 less. So, which again, it facilitates the small man, the man who don't have to go to the bank to face up these interest payments and so on. And if you notice, like in the US now, they extend it's no longer 3-year repayment. Sometimes it goes to 5 or 7 years to repay your loan on motor vehicles only, which means that you bleed the car buyers like that. So the banks meet all the banks in cohort with the new car companies was like a monopoly on their own.
Yeah.
But now this freeing up of the age of the vehicles will definitely benefit the smaller man, because he'll be able to get cars 6, 7, 8 years old at a substantially discounted price.
Correct.
And with that comes the fall in price in gasoline. I don't know if you remember, it's $1 less for super gas. So
yeah,
it is a way of trying to revive the economy, and you have to take into consideration, not all about has public transport access. As far as you were saying in Beach and certain places, Superior and so on, there's no San Francisco, there's no public transport, so you need Woodland and so on, you need to have a car, a vehicle. Should you need
Right.
to drop your kids to school or make a trip to the market or pharmacy or the doctor, as the case may be, or to even go and do your shopping,
Yeah.
you need a vehicle. So this again, as I'm saying, is facilitating the poor man. And this is part of the people-centered government. When UNC wins, everybody wins. So it's keeping in tandem with that theme, of the public winning. And
Yeah,
that is because of
exactly.
because the UNC has won. So I think it was an excellent initiative to that got vehicle sales have
Also,
we have far too many people in our country suffering for transportation. There are too many unsafe issues, too many incidents that took place. We need to provide proper busing, better road conditions. We need to make transportation. This is an island that's by 150 miles, and I don't see why it is that we can't do better than this. So definitely, we intend to do better. We change the government because we want to do better, and we are going to do better.
Yeah, but
correct.
Gary, I don't know if you
And
all
we
know.
have a civil engineer who is a mastermind on doing these things.
You
Go
see
ahead,
there.
Ken.
Yeah. Go ahead, Samant. Finish up.
All right, you see, if you look at the data, a lot of the working buses were taken out from the country areas, the south and central and deep south areas, to facilitate the east-west corridor, which meant these are the people who live in the east-west corridor were the main beneficiaries of these things, while the people in central and south and deep south were the ones who suffered because the buses that serviced these routes were taken out of the system. Again, it shows up the point of geographic discrimination. So that's how I see it.
That is absolutely correct. Because once people are not mobile, they're stuck in one spot,
Yes.
right?
Hold on a second,
Sorry,
guys.
Mike.
Richard, are you hearing us? He's not fully in. I don't know where he's in, but he's not fully in. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe you need to
Hello.
come back
Yeah,
off
I
and,
hear
and
Well, he switched the device, so he went to the laptop. I don't know why it is that he's not coming fully in. He's there, but he's not fully in.
Ask him to do it on phone. And the phone is much easier because
No, he was doing it on the phone and then it had trouble, so he switched device. I had him switch device, but
yeah, but
Anyway.
also Samara, the classic vehicles 25 years old from the manufacturer's date.
okay, we finally
Right.
got him. Councillor Suppe,
Okay, good.
welcome. Welcome. We have been a long-awaited gentleman that we've been waiting on. I know he's been so busy. So, Councillor Suppe, I'm going to share that video first, and then I'll ask you to elaborate on it, if you don't mind.
Which one of the videos?
The one that you sent me with you and the MP?
Oh, okay.
Let's see if I know I loaded it. 1 second. Here we go.
Cunupia councillor Richard Sugdio, together with Chaguanas East Member of Parliament Vandana Mohit, met with the residents of the Esmeralda Gardens community in discussions of improvements towards their recreational facility. In the very near future, the project designed for the security aspects of lighting and fencing of the Esmeralda Gardens Park will commence. The residents are elated with these plans and working together in building a safer and better community.
Okay, sir. If you can give us a little update on what's taking place in your constituency and what you've been up to.
Okay, good evening, gentlemen. Well, that meeting we had earlier this week, that would have been Monday evening. We had that based on the fact that in the Cunupia area, we are having a lot of intermittent crimes and so on, and sort of petty crimes, mostly. Now, they are the major crimes, but a lot of petty crimes are happening in terms of people are entering people's premises and stealing small stuff. They're looking into people's cars. Especially with the Spanish influence there now, we are having a little issue with that. So one of the things there in the Esmeralda ground is where it's a small park where the community go there on evenings and so on, to have a little recreation, to have a little downtime, to stroll their babies and so on. The problem there now is the lack of is a bit of a risk because the park is not secured in terms of the lighting has failed, and also there is no security around the park in terms of fencing. So I've decided with some PSIP funding that I got, the allocation that was approved for our projects in the financial year 25-26, I've decided to put all my recreational funding in that park to make it secure and safe for the residents. Because it's a community that have some, it's a small community, maybe about 60 houses, and the community, the population there is an ageable one, sort of, and there are a lot of senior citizens there, and then some of them have their grandchildren and so on. We're just strolling the park and then there are unwanted characters who come in there, especially when it starts to get dark, and creating a sort of a security problem there. So hence the reason we had that meeting to discuss with the residents how we can improve the security. I mean, we have our ideas what we'll do, but of course it is important that we discuss and relate with the citizens there as to what they want and see how we can sync it with our people. So basically, that was the purpose of the visit, what you would have seen in the video there.
Richard, I have a question if you don't mind.
Sure.
You said you're going to...
Gary put everybody on the screen now. You just have me there. Let me see you. Right.
You said that you were going to utilize all your PSIP funding to secure the playfield there or the grounds. But when you do that, what happens to the other hotspots within your area? They will migrate from Cunupia, that playfield, now to the ones less secured.
Right. So good observation there, Singh. But probably I didn't explain it clearly. And what I did when I said I took all my PSIP funding, recreational purpose funding, that is. So we get three separate types of funding. Recreational, we got for roads, and we got for drains. So I took the whatever I got for recreational purpose, and instead of splitting it up and put in a little thing in this ground or a little thing on that ground. So I try to focus on that ground so that they can enjoy the ground in safety.
Nice.
It's not much fun. It's 200 and something thousand.
Yeah, so, well, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah. It's better to do something meaningful than to do piece and you're not seeing tangible benefits.
Everything hung up, halfway. Yeah, but you know as well the same problem we have here, that the ground is not parked, it's well lit, but no fencing around and so on, and you got the elements moving around. Exactly. As soon as it start to improve the security, these guys, so-called wanted criminals, move into the next area, and like that. So they are mobile. They watch what's going on, and they move into less, secure areas, so to speak. So in that way, I think the criminals still exist It's just that they have shifted from one area to the next.
Yeah. So I think we need more policing around these
Definitely,
recreational
definitely.
areas,
And not more
right?
so more can I think we need or strengthen the community based to police.
Correct.
That community based, let's say in the evening, like from 5 to 8, most of the communities, exactly what Richard is saying. They walk their babies, their grandchildren, they kick some ball and so on, elderly walking around this perimeter of the playfield and so on. So you need these people to be around there, at least
Yeah.
in the
And
community.
that brings the community together, right?
Mhm.
Where they can converge at a place and have a little function, Diwali celebrations, etc.
No.
You don't want to have guys sitting on the pavilion there smoking marijuana, all sort of stuff,
All
right?
over, all
You know,
over. That's a
and
habit. That is
and
a
I've
habit.
noticed
We're
that,
not
yeah, I've
habit.
noticed that in the Peru recreational ground, right, a couple of years ago, right, it was sort of neglected, and you have people, some shady characters, they deal in drugs, they smoking marijuana and stuff there, and that's not a healthy environment, and a safe environment also, because it would deter people from using the facilities, you know.
Yep.
So I would want to probably recommend routine policing, right? A police presence within the hours when people are frequenting the facilities, right? To exercise, to walk their kids, etc. But here's something smart. It just crossed my mind, and anyone could jump in and tell me if it makes sense or not. I know the council mentioned that there's a tight budget, but why don't we try to come up with a concept where we engage the private sector, the private business sector, to adopt a park, right? And we put a billboard on the park and saying, "Hey, this park is adopted by for the next 12 months by Extra Foods," right? And they pay for the upkeep and maintenance and stuff. In a sense, we start a public-private partnership there. What do you think about that, Samar, Councillor?
That's that. Well, in Miami, that's what we do. A lot of places adopt a highway and this from this
Correct.
down to the other one, especially on Turnpike and so on. You see, that is advertising and branding for the company, And I don't think we at that level here as yet can, because again, some of these businesses, they themselves are suffering the effects of the crime and so on. So their costs have increased as well. So you might find it difficult at this time for them. But you're right. That's a good initiative that,
Well, yeah,
adopt the park and
because
so
you
on.
see, we have to find ways to make it work, right? And if the issues and challenges are finances, right, to maintain and so forth, we could engage the private sector, the business community specifically, and say, hey, if you could put up a little banner in 4, 5 different places that's conspicuous, and it reflects a partnership with the business and community, and the community will support that business entity. They say, hey, you
Yes.
know what? These are good guys. They're supporting our park. Let's go and support them. They're local business, and look at what they're doing, right? They've sponsored the park, right? They have adopted a park, our park, and it goes both ways.
I
So I
would
think
like
it's
to.
a win-win.
Sorry, Ken. Go ahead.
No,
Continue.
go ahead, go ahead. You cut me
I
off.
would like to see, these contractors, especially those who have been the beneficiary of government contracts, they do this as a community outreach for themselves. They should not, the party, UNC, should not be the one to tell them to do it, but as a matter of, public good, so to speak, that these contractors who get government contracts and so on, that they have the capacity, they have the equipment, they have whatever that is needed, to assist big time in this regard.
Exactly. Yep.
So,
And
Ken, what you spoke about, I see the doctor have on a jersey there, trying to see the emblem of the support, man. But
I think it says they just sell Trinbago nitride or something.
9 years and I tell a guy.
all right.
It's only come out after dark.
I want to make a statement there on respect on the community enhancement. When I was in Trinidad there some time ago, we always do the when you are a government worker now, um, they do drug tests on you. I went to Trinidad and I spent about a couple of months there. When I reached back here, I took a drug test. It was necessary, and they found in my blood I have sufficient marijuana in my blood. You understand? So this marijuana, um, what was legalized by the PNM government, right, had is a very negative thing on the community. You engage fellas or the community to be by effect of drugs, right? And nobody, anywhere you go in Trinidad, you cannot go in a place or a beach or a park or something and don't smell on that horrible smell. You understand? And this is one of the things that causes vandalism, violence, and these things like that. That marijuana is good in a way, is medicine, right? In
THC.
medicine
Yeah.
wise, right? But smoking in public areas that affects people, you cannot do that. You cannot do that. You even see workers now, oil field workers, right? Or hospital workers. I saw it myself. Hospital workers outside the hospital smoking marijuana in a hospital.
I got a
Which is
complaint. I got a complaint about that in one of our hospital where, in fact, the staff was smoking
yes, the
marijuana
staff,
right in the hallway there. You
But
know,
that's
yes, the
legally
staff.
allowed.
in
That's
Trinidad.
the
Yeah,
But
but
you see, we allowed the lawlessness to
all
take
right.
place over the years, and now even so the police. I mean, it was became the norm around the police. They never did anything, to really enforce anything there. But these are things we will have to put in place. But Richard, I want to congratulate you on the work that you're doing there. Even though you focus on one park, how many parks you have in your area?
I have two main grounds and
Right.
two main grounds where you have games and so on, cricket and soccer and take place. And this park here is not really this one that I did a video on. It's more a recreational relaxation park.
More family oriented
No
area.
kind of game. This is a small area.
Right,
This one is
right.
a small one.
So that
So
kind of
this is
family, more like a family kind of thing.
more community
Right,
oriented.
right, right, right,
Just
right.
to relax. People had a little gathering, a little
Yeah,
little stuff
evening walk
there.
and thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
what is the
what are
chances? What are the chances that
uh,
you get in the Shogunas municipal police to help you kind of, patrol
right?
the area a little bit? Go ahead.
So Ken touch on that point there, which I wanted to respond. So we have constantly asked for the municipal police to do these periodic patrols. It is difficult for them because of the lack of human resource to have people, officers stationed in any particular ground and so on. So what we do is that I am chairman of the security committee at the corporation presently.
Excellent.
So I have a little hand with them, a good relationship with the police there, the municipal police. But because of the lack of manpower and resource, as I say, it is not possible for them to be there at all the time. So what they do, they try their best to see how they can do patrols. So we ask them, as Ken and you're saying there, Gary, to do as much patrols as possible. I even told them that they must come drive through the village with the flashing lights and siren and thing at different times, no specific time. So you see, when they do that, the people there who the elements
They can't gauge when they're going to come. They can't estimate that.
exactly, they don't have a specific time, and so that is a deterrent by itself. In that, hey, if I go to do a crime now, the police might pass. So we're trying to see how best we could and they are working with us. They are working with us, but I mean, it's really difficult to.
Yeah, but the other suggestions, something I've been pushing for a long time is the community volunteer neighborhood patrol, where it can be
Uh-huh.
trained by the police and work under the jurisdiction and supervision of the police. So we have additional eyes on the ground. Not that they engage in anybody, but they are extra eyes assisting the community. We have a lot of young people out of work. We have a lot. We have people who are working still will volunteer at the time if we organize it from local government where there is a structure in place. I think we can do that. And this is something I
Well,
want to see this time around under our government.
well,
Gary, that way that what you are talking about there right now, that works here in Venezuela, no? And the parks, the park you say, no? There was a lot of the government here came and they asked the community to take over the security in the park, and the police respond. When the community member calls, the police respond immediately, 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes to come. No, you come. Translation is community watch. It worked very good, very very good here, and since that program has came out, even the same community takes care of the parks. You mentioned also also there that um, some company, supermarket or sponsors on maintenance on parks. Here that work very well. Plaza, you say plaza, no? Uh, for example, you say extra food over there. Yeah, I know extra food. They take care of a small park, and it reduces the government say, oh, you take care of that park, we will reduce how you say impuesto alcaldía tax. I don't know how you say alcaldía,
yeah,
mayor tax or
tax
property
deductible.
tax.
Yeah.
Yes,
A tax break.
on your voluntary work. So
Mhm.
when you have a private sector knows that he will benefit from a public sector, he will take care more of the environment or the that's an environment benefit as well, no? They plant trees, they plant keep the grass, how you say maintenance of the park complete,
Yeah.
and that is
Correct.
a way you have tourism. We have the bad concept that tourism is foreigners. No, tourism is not only foreigners. If you look at tourism for Trinidad or for any country, 80% are local, right? 80% are local. So very, very good idea, and this should be studied a little bit more and to be implemented and select who is really who is willing which company is willing to take care of the parking areas.
Yeah,
Park.
that's why it's suggested the beneficiaries of government contract will be a good starting
Mhm.
point. Let them contribute back to the economy rather than just making their
Full their
profits, and so
pockets.
which you need to make, of course,
Mhm.
but let them be able to give back something. And also my suggestion of community policing, which Gary reiterated, that is definitely something that can be expanded to a larger.
With volunteers, you see, community police cannot be restricted to the municipal police. You
No,
have a
no,
few
no,
officers there.
no.
What
Yes,
I need to see is municipal government work a strategy together with national security and the community, and we create a solid volunteer system. And then people from the community could donate foods and little thing, people volunteer in their time, and you make it
yes,
encouraging,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it could be part of, it reach a long way. But there has to be a structure in place. It can't be just somebody throwing something together. We had to put it in a
Mhm.
structured way. Go
And
ahead, Richard.
and
Go
Oh,
ahead, Richard.
I
okay.
just remember something here, no? In the next thing they did to make the community, how you say, the community watch, not even benefit, even the locals who are there, uh, place businesses, like, they did it here, like a hot dog cart, something like empanadas. These people, when they know they have profit of the businesses, of that business, they tend to take more, um, care of the parks.
Yeah, yeah.
People
But
come.
one thing I want to clarify too, it must not, no way the concept of being vigilante must be part of
Yes.
the thing. If
Correct.
you catch somebody, you restrain them, and you
Call the
call the
police.
police. You
Yes.
don't beat that person to death, mercilessly. If you have to restrain them forcefully, you do that, but with with necessary force. Not that you continue 10 people beating the person to death.
Yeah,
There,
exactly.
so we don't want that kind of repetition. We are here to more to create deterrence. If you need have to engage, you engage, but you do it with with some civilized behavior. You
So
know.
you need some level of training in that, Gary, because I'll tell
Which
you,
we need the police involved. The police
correct.
cannot operate like it's a police operation, alone. The
It
our
need,
security, we there must be inclusion, and there must be some directive and from the law enforcement. But we do need the Minister of Local Government involved to work with together with our councils and the community.
and that is so critical because you need to have coordination among different ministries to make that effective. Because I'll give you my personal experience. When I was director of tourism, I sent 4 officers to Miami to specialize in tourism-oriented policing. Now they come back and they started to train members of the community, especially in a place called Castara. If you don't know, Castara has the largest community-based tourism project in both Trinidad and Tobago. So you'll be amazed at the level of security. It's all done voluntarily with members of the community. So that is a model, what I was suggesting, that they work in tandem. We're working in tandem with this police, but also with other ministries. So there's something more coordinated, it's a more coordinated effort.
Yeah,
To
I
bring
like to
this
hear. Yeah, I like to hear what Richard has to say at this point. So Richard, what do you think of what we're suggesting so far?
All those suggestions are good. However, to be realistic, it's pie in the sky. Let me tell you why. It can be an ideal situation, but to get volunteers is the problem. To get
You have to know who
volunteers,
you're taking to.
people are not coming out. Everybody in Trinidad wants something, and there's that spirit does not exist so much with many people. If you go in a community and you talk to 50 people to do it, you might get 2 or 3. So it's a little difficult to pull that together.
Because,
But I understand. But what I'm saying to you is, if we get like people to donate food and make it you come out and a lot of people out at work and having a little hard time doing it. They volunteer. It might be enticing if we could get some people to donate some some food and thing towards
But
the effort.
that as you all said, that has to be structured.
Yeah, structured.
It has to be consistency. There has to be consistency with it. So you know that, okay, for this month, for this, we have provision, we have stuff that we can, and you put your plans there and do. What we used to have, and you guys, I don't know how much are you in Trinidad right now? Anybody on this platform in Trinidad?
Suman is there. Ken is more. He's back and forth between Trinidad and US also.
Right. So what we had about, let's say, about 20 to 25 years ago, which was prevalent at the time, we had the neighborhood watch, right? And the neighborhood watch was when the villagers or the residents they would form a group in the village, and you would have, if you have 25 men, you have about 8. You have them in you alternate them. So you form teams, like 3 teams of about 8 to 10 people each, and they work out the whole night, right? At a particular venue, and then they make a little cooking and they walk around in the night as a team to ensure that thing. But it has because of when the crime surged and it became violent, I think the neighborhood watch group also became a bit fearful of that, because crime has gone to a different level now in terms of the violence and what is being perpetrated against people. So
and the criminals being heavily armed.
exactly.
And you can't even get a what do you call it, an FUL, and they're pulling teeth for 50 years to get an FUL. But
So
being that we in government now, I think we have how to say the bat in our hand to kind of give some directives here where our prime minister is in government. And if we could get this, I mean, I made these suggestions to her many times. I know she deals with it a lot. But even, I mean, things like the stand your ground and the FUL, these things that she brought on the table is things that we've been making suggestions for years. We were trying to get this thing the first time around down in 2010, but it didn't happen. But this time, she made it possible, and but we're working towards it. But the conversation, as Richard, as you an official representative, I mean, we're making it from outside, but maybe when you get into into meetings with them, you can make the suggestion that what we're thinking. And I still think that if we structure it right, it can work right, but it has to be collaboration between the
exactly.
with the ministries.
And
Yeah.
okay, Gary, if I may make a suggestion, about
Go
20
ahead, go
years
ahead.
ago, all A-level students in Form 6, lower and upper, had to do 50 hours of community service work. I don't know if you all know that. Dr. Dowlat can tell you that in Naparima boys, Naparima girls, as soon as you write A-levels, you have to do that as part of your fulfilling or giving back to the community. So a lot of them, the NAPS girls I know, used to go to the old age homes, the hospitals, and so on, to make up that 50 hours of community work. And that's why I'm saying that it has to be something coordinated. As community service doesn't start at age 30 or 40 or 50. It has to start when you go in school. And by inculcating this into the minds of children, that, community service, safety and security, these things are part of your community, and how best you can help deliver services today voluntarily. We don't have that knack for volunteerism.
Correct.
I can tell you that in TNT now.
Yeah,
But it was lapsed because you're not inculcating that teaching in the high schools. That is the perfect breeding ground for it. The same
You
thing
see,
like
we have a lot of police youth clubs. There are different things that they are trying.
Yes,
Each community
yes.
has a police youth club now.
Yes, I
But
know, and
because
that's a good
of
initiative. That's a
yeah,
very good initiative.
yeah,
In Tobago, it worked a lot in Tobago, and that is, when you look at it, the level of all the same petty crimes and more serious crimes were basically more in checked in Tobago than over here. But that has been there a long, long time now. So I think we are lapsing in that regard. Community-based policing, let the community, and you drive that process through education from early on.
You see, the programs, it has to come from the top. It has to be government funded. Awaiting business people to fund funding is a very difficult situation here.
But you need to incentivize the business to make
Right.
sure that
So you need to do
tax
things.
write-offs. Okay, all your money, all your expenses incurred in your contribution to the play field here is tax deductible. So you see, government needs to play its role. But then again, comes back to it has to be driven from the top.
From the top.
and that's important.
Definitely.
You need to have a structure in place.
Yes.
A well-vetted structure.
But
Right,
gentlemen, this is nothing new. I've been saying it for years,
Yeah.
But I know we just take government a few months, but we have to keep at it.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and Gary, also we're dealing with a different type of criminal element here now. They're heavily armed. These guys don't have a knife or a cutlass anymore. They come with a high-powered rifle or a gun, right? And to have a community-based group that more or less defenseless, all they could do is communicate to the police an incident, right? It has to be well structured because we don't want to put people in harm's way.
That's right.
No, but
I think
I am not suggesting that we put people in harm's way. What we need is for you to observe and make
correct.
the
But
call.
here, yeah,
But we
but here's
need
my point
also
also.
the TTPS to be set up and structured to respond.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I made mention this a while back also. The issue with the FULs, right? If we could now have some way where we train the watch group members to use a firearm and grant them that FUL, give them that level of preference, right? On the application, they could say, hey, belong to the X amount of group, and somebody endorse that, right? They're a member of the Esmeralda Watch Group, right? And endorse that application, and they can go through training and all of the rigorous safety activities and training with owning a gun and so forth and using it, right? Because it would give them some sort of reassurance that, hey, you know what? I have at least some kind of defensive mechanism I could use to defend myself when I'm out there in the open, right? While not wanting to engage, but sometimes these guys look at the incident with the maxi
The
taxi there.
bus, the max
This fella
taxi,
just
yeah.
the guy stopped to probably drop off a passenger. 3 or 4 guys just went in there and robbed the whole maxi, right? All these people, they took their bags, their watch, their phones, all this other stuff. So that could
IDs.
happen randomly. My thing is, I would want to equip the community-based watch group with their FULs and training, right? But also have us put all of that in a structure where the government also buys into it. The government has to drive that initiative.
You know, the crime that happened this morning in the Maxi, right? If you look at the video properly, you would see a person with a
Hoodie, a hoodie.
a hijab or a hood, right?
Uh-huh.
And that person rang the bell for the Maxi to stop at the point. And those guys came in, and that person stayed on. Right? So it was a coordinated effort with that passenger and the bandits. Because
like to see
at
the
the end of the
video.
journey, that person drop out and start somebody thing and come out together with them.
Yeah, but Mr. Subdev, if that was in Texas or somewhere in Florida here, you think that would fly here? Maybe 3 of them would have been dead inside a maxi.
Exactly, yeah.
Right?
So
A armed society is a polite society. And
Yes,
right now we're dealing
I
with a
agree.
criminal population that's heavily armed, and we have to give the law-abiding citizen a fighting chance to defend themselves, not
Yep.
like sitting ducks. The Prime Minister reiterated, and I hope that we continue to push in that direction to arm our citizens, our law-abiding citizens. Because right
Yes.
now they're a bunch of sitting ducks, waiting for these home invaders to come and violate their families and property, right? So we have to we are at a point, a juncture where we have to equip people and give them a fighting chance. And I would support the Prime Minister's initiative, stand your ground, right? Defend
Yes.
yourself when that time comes.
Well, I could take credit for one of the individuals that have been convincing the Prime Minister on making such a decision. I pushed that agenda for a very long period of time, that we reserve the right to defend ourselves. Go ahead, Richard.
yeah, no, well, the thing with the government has started with the stand your ground in terms of passing certain legislation that doesn't that you can feel a bit more comfortable if you defend yourself within your property, and also with the aspect of granting FULs. Now the FULs, it is not it still would not be like in the States and so on, where each and everybody could get one. There'll still be criteria to be met in terms of, I myself have been through it. And it's a little rigorous exercise, but I think it's in the best interest of giving the right people it. I mean, yes, I hear everybody should have one, but that also based on the society in Trinidad could also have some negative if we just give out. To every person, if every person could just go in and purchase one at a store. So they have to balance the act there.
Yeah,
But
education
also,
and training and stuff like that.
yeah, but see how best you could empower the people to defend themselves.
Definitely,
That is
definitely.
important. Because
Well,
one
I mean,
thing a guy was telling me from the States, the advantage, and it made sense. He said the advantage with giving anybody a firearm is that someone will think twice about going into a home to steal because they do not know who has that firearm waiting, ready and waiting.
Correct.
So, that was the logic he was telling me, which made good sense.
There's legislation here in the state to back that up. It's one of the is enshrined in one of the amendments. I think it's amendment number 4. So
Second Amendment.
Second Amendment. Sorry, yeah, I know number 4 is the police into your home and so on. But the Second Amendment, it guarantees you that you don't have to apply appropriate force as the current legislation holds. Okay, what is appropriate force? Okay, I should not shoot the guy in the belly. I should shoot him in the foot.
But a guy could turn his back. The same time he turned his back, the bullet hit him in the back, and it may look like you shoot him in the back. But when someone enters your house, when some person enter your property, that's a direct threat on your life.
Correct. Anyway, that becomes
it cannot be restricted to your property because somebody could attack you in the street. You're going to your car in a parking lot. You walk into the bank or from the bank, which we have seen many times, right? So we have to. When we were doing this consultation, I was watching it. So this thing cannot be restricted to your self-defense to your own property. Even though you're right to defend yourself, but you should reserve the right. Whether you're on the street, you're walking from to and fro, you reserve the right to defend yourself. But what I do ask is that the training put in place, that the coordination, when a person is defending themselves, they have to be conscious of what's around them when you fire that arm, right? When you fire that bullet, because you own the bullet.
The legislation restricts it. That reserves it to your property within your home.
Which I noticed Adam was doing the consultation, and this is what I wanted to add to it, in the fact that you could be attacked anywhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Gary also.
Let me just share something that is a little different from what's in the States and so on, right? With respect to firearm, people holding firearms, and you see, while in the States, if somebody thinks about going to commit a crime or a robbery in someone's house, the difference is between that in Trinidad and there is that in the States, you do not know who you're going to meet because people hardly know each other. Whereas in the community here in the village, they target people. They know everybody in a street, you know who it is. Whereas in the States, I think it's apartments, it's buildings, it's houses, nobody knows who lives who. People don't know the neighbor, people don't know anything. So when the crimes are committed here now is that they are targeting people. They say, hey, I know a pensioner live there, right? Watch his house, you scope out, you go and you go back. And so it's a bit different. The scenarios are different.
Yeah, so, it's also different which part of the States, because we do have some areas where it's just like that in the States here. And these elderly people, I mean, they grew up with their gun and they would shoot first and ask questions after,
That's correct. That's correct.
So Gary,
but the coordination between the police is needed. We need that pressure on the police and the leadership to work. We need the police to pick up their pace. I mean, we've seen too many issues, with police involved in certain things, but also the supervision and the patrol, and they have to pick up their pace too.
Gary is saying that, right?
Definitely.
And listen, they arrested a police and a
Yeah.
civilian
Yeah.
with the kidnapping and killing.
Mr. Lala, Mr. Lala,
Mr. Lala,
and,
right?
and not the first time.
Right. And today, between yesterday and today, in a warehouse in Sawa, police, a couple of police were guarding ammunition, illegal ammunition,
Yesterday.
And
Yeah.
then the special branch had to go and intervene and arrest these police officers, take away the firearms service. And so you know, you don't know who to turn to here, and people have no confidence in going to the police because when all these things are in the air environment, how you know who you're going to trust? While there are many good officers, you don't know them. People don't know.
Richard, we have friends and family in the police force that's scared for their own life among their peers, their colleagues. You understand? Yeah. So this is why I keep singing, and I said it boldly. You must have seen my statements about we have to fix the management of the TTPS.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know.
You have to put police to watch police.
You were saying something, Ken? Go ahead.
No, certainly, Gary. I saw that comment, right? And then we spoke about an internal affairs group, something similar to what we have here, right? To investigate.
Yeah, but the thing about it is because of the powers that be within our system, we have to fix the judicial system, we have to fix the police, we have to deal with the management of the Coast Guard, customs and immigration. I mean, you name it. We have to fix that. We have to fix that in the first 5 years of government before we can move forward.
Absolutely.
It comes back, Gary, to my favorite phrase. All the systems here are broken.
Please don't say broken. It is rotten. It's rotten and corrupt. Don't say broken is a nice word.
And
Richard, the far as I see it, the municipal government is basically the foundation of our society. And if we can get the communication flowing, you still communicate with us, you work with us, and whenever you have a time, you will still come on, and engage with us. And we are having too much trouble with those within the system, free channel, free air, and you still can't get them. I mean, the media is not working with us there. But we think that, I think, like you build in a house, it's from ground up. It's strengthening foundation. So that's what we need to work on, strengthening our municipal government and how things work.
And municipal police recently got each corporation, they would have gotten a slight increase during the course of this year. For instance, Chaguanas would have been given a contingent probably of about 15 extra officers, and they're now into probationary training and so on. So that should help a little bit. But we are also, asking for more, because right now we are engaging the traffic wardens to assist in traffic situations, because we have serious congestion at peak hours, and they are assisting in this. So it's a work in progress. I can understand how difficult it is for the police. For the government, in terms of trying to fix everything. Because, as you say, the thing is,
we got a lot to fix, but we have to kind of steer the course and keep advising our government, that they follow through, and let them know we're paying attention at the same time, and we support our government, but at the same time we want certain things done, and we don't want to see some of the issues ignored, but we go forward with it,
Also, Gary, if I may add, sometimes it's better when you're outside, like Ken, myself, and Dr. upper room that from outside, and yourself too, Gary, you can see the things better from outside than when you're inside.
Well, listen, that's why the Prime Minister engaged us. You know, she know what I stood on things, and that's why she would say, you know, remind her or something. You know.
You have to be current with what's
Gary,
going on.
Yeah, Gary, Richard, the councillor, Mr. Subdir mentioned something, road congestion, traffic congestion, you know. I know we
Richard, I sent you a little diagram today to get a little look. I don't know if you had a chance. You know, but this is something me and Ken and we engaged the Prime Minister and the MP for West Neil, who signed there on plan of action. So whenever you get a chance, you could look at that diagram. We're going to discuss with you further. We want to engage you on it because you're part of that central area. And so we will talk more about it. But Ken, if you want to say anything, you can go ahead.
No, definitely. But yes, we have the traffic wardens and stuff during peak hours, and that will help us to an extent. But what we're dealing with here is outdated infrastructure. These roads haven't been expanded greatly over the past decades. So the capacity or the number of vehicles during peak hours, right, has been outgrown, right? So the thing is, when you have 3,000 vehicles during peak hours, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, now we have double, we have 6,000 vehicles, right? So it's creating a problem with the capacity. And that's why we have to expand the network so that we can increase, so we can compensate for larger capacity, you know, during peak hours, and create alternate routes, and decentralize some of the government offices from Port of Spain, move it more to Central and other places, right? Then having everyone converge to one area. So we're working on something. I don't want to jump too much into the design and stuff, but we're working on something there, and you will be a key person to consult also, because you're from that part of the constituency, right? It touches on many constituencies.
Which I sent it to him today, so he can look at it when he gets a chance, and then we will have further discussion offline with him.
Yes,
but definitely, you know, with the infrastructure has to be worked on. So we have so much work from A to Z in every aspect of the country, and we understand that. And you know, we want to keep the conversation going. We want to keep the information going. We want to keep the government engaged in what we're doing. You know, and the ideas are well accepted so far. You know, so we're looking forward to making this thing happen, developing the Gulf, the entire Gulf, not towards Port of Spain, but the entire Gulf, with the tourism, the industrial port, the fishing port, the ferry port, all of that is included. And I even heard the Minister of Transport mention the park and ride, which we were suggesting, you know,
in Central
for a long period of time. So so we're seeing that. So it's taking an effect, Richard.
Well, good. That's good. One of the problems there, and Gary, I have to leave in a minute or two, right? It's about 9:30. I have an engagement at 9:30.
All right. Thank you so much, though, anyway.
But before I go, the problem with the traffic is that, yes, as Ken says, is outdated and so on. And but the problem is the land space to do extra roads. So the roads cannot be like right now. They just open up another lane from to extend to Chase Village there, and that helps it, because that bottleneck we were having at the Chaguanas flyover to come down by Bagwansing there. Yeah, they open up a third lane, so it's flowing free on to go further south to Cooper. It has reached the Chase Village, and they'll continue. But the problem there is the land space, and what it needs, as Ken was saying, you need to have a new system in place with extra roads, extra flyovers. You know, at that point there, so they have plans. Well, when I say plans, a vision in place to put that extra flyover at the Nagar and one at Brentwood.
Yeah, that's what Ken. I have Ken working on a design, But the thing, Richard, before you go, it's something I've been proposing for a while, and I had Ken work on it, and you can see that in the copy. Is a causeway running up on the Gulf side, going straight into city gates, all the way to Chaguaramas where the water park is, exit to the BTM. So a causeway, like in New York here, where you have the FDR running on the side of Manhattan, and
Right.
goes
Yeah.
along the side. So so
Causeway.
so the causeway goes straight in. It wraps into the BTM. It comes out into the bird sanctuary. It connects the Butler Highway like Sumaya Trace and several things you will see on the design we send you there. So these are the recommendations. So this is something that will help, deal with the traffic issues, because you don't have one highway going into Port of Spain, and this will be a faster access. The way you run up the ramp straight into Port of Spain, when you exit in, I asked Ken to design in the exit in a way that you don't come to a stop, but you wrap around and flow through into
Yeah.
the B-term or things like that. So you don't, when you come over highway, you don't can't make a stop. You're
Right.
you come in and you get
Right. You have a free
access
flow.
lane. Yeah, and flow,
But it's
free
better
flow.
you have a longer distance to go with a continuous flow than to come out somewhere.
Correct.
Right. So all the way up to where I think I know what valley that is up there, that road that goes up to into
It was where
Marabal
that
there.
school is, University of Southern Caribbean or something up there.
Yeah.
Maracas Valley.
Yeah. So you will
Yeah.
have one exit there up there. So what I'm saying to you, instead of
Right.
having to go to the traffic in Chakara, Nice into
Yeah.
Maracas, you're running up the causeway and they're going all the way inside.
Right.
The decentralization of the governmental business is one of the things that the Prime Minister took. That I made suggestion. I wanted one in Central, Sandy Grande. I mean, in the southern area also. I mean, we need to work on the Carcass area, the Mayaro area. We need to work on. So I mean, you're decentralizing, which will help reduce the traffic, and you reduce the stress, and you provide extra convenience to the people. You give them the extra lift to go ahead. So in time wasted, you find time to advance yourself. I mean, there's lots of things to talk about, but we will loop you all in it off the air.
All right.
And thank you for taking the time, Richard. Any last words?
No. I think continue your platform. I think it is it's doing well. Once the ideas keep flowing, of course, the government will take heed. It will reach them to the different medium, and let's see how we continue to work to build Trinidad and Tobago. All of us as a team together. Okay.
And please let your colleagues know that the platform is here. We are ready to give them a voice and to engage them. All right.
All right.
Thank
Okay,
you
so
very
good
much.
night.
Richard. All right then.
Okay,
So we'll
good
be in
night.
touch. We'll be in touch,
Yeah.
Richard. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks.
So take a look at that video, gentlemen.
Oh my God! My ID card, my phone, everything. Oh my God! What the ass is this? Oh my God! No fucking way! Oh my God! First time too. I check and I got it.
See that, and one thing strike me. You see the guy who's sitting on the left-hand side with the shades? He seemed very, very relaxed. I don't know if you all know that. I've been watching that particular guy.
The video was so small, I couldn't analyze it very well. I don't know if Gary, you could send it for me, please.
Yeah, I will send it
So
to
I can.
you.
All right.
Yeah, the first guy you're seeing in the photo on the left-hand side, he's like,
Okay.
oh man,
Definitely complicity.
Yeah, he could be. You never know. You never know. Don't make assumptions. But he's too
The bandits are being very well organized. They have the technology also. They're using WhatsApp group, and they're communicating. And they're heavily armed. This is why I'm always going to keep saying it. We need to give our citizens a fighting chance.
That's right.
Because it's unfair to have them without where they
Protection.
can't match the firepower. You cannot take a knife to a gunfight, right?
Yes.
So we need to train our citizens, and we need to arm them also, right? So that they can defend themselves. If
And
one person had an FUL on that bus, I'm sure they would have been able to take control of that situation. Maybe
Or
fire a
one
shot
of
to
them
one of
go
those
down.
guys. One of them go down, the next guy instantly to wait around. He looking for the closest way out where he has to jump through a window.
He died through a window. He will die through a window.
Exactly. Or the guy tell him, okay, stop right there. Put your hands up in the air. Don't move, or else you're dead. Right? And take control of the situation. But we have to give the people a fighting chance. And Samad, I think I mentioned in last forum, maybe it is time that the Minister of National Security and so forth engage the COP to see how these FUL applications are being processed and give him a report, a monthly report, how many FULs are being processed every single month or quarter, right? I want to see
Gentlemen, the current structure of issuing the FUL cannot be. We need, because the what they call it, the system, one person cannot handle the workload. We need to correct this. Like how we have municipal here in the States, we have municipality that addresses the police chief. So we need like a senior superintendent in a municipal area to address it, not in entirety to the commissioner of police. Right? So that's the one of the structure of dealing with it, is that it has to be broken down to the local municipality.
And that's my point, Gary. Once that data comes back, that the COP is handling 50 applications every quarter, then we can say, hey, here's something. Based on that data, we need to phase this out or move this responsibility from you because you can't handle the capacity, right? And put a structure in place to move these applications.
It's already known. It's already known. I mean, he have maybe 10,000 or 20,000 or maybe more. I think it was 100,000 application, if I don't remember.
Right. So we need to change that whole process.
So it has to be dealt at the municipal level for that, and we need to organize the training and the classes to go along with it.
After changing legislation and everything else, Gary, it's not like don't do like piecemeal like that. Listen, the Minister of National Security, right? He has to delegate exactly what you're saying,
Well,
Superintendent House
yeah, he has to
Center.
delegate, but the population will delegate to him, and he will have to listen at some point.
He ain't listening to listen. Oh, these
No, no,
guys, these things have to be driven up from the top. They didn't know they have 10,000 applications. How come one commissioner can see that and handle that?
well, listen to me, poor Suman. He is going to. Is either like I say, is either they listen privately or they take it publicly. But
Like
come in.
sorry to say, like, snail pace.
You know that problem. You know that problem was solved here. It was just like Trinidad, no? You had one person handling, or a group of person handling the license. What went on there? The situation went out of control, and the increase of application justified had increased. So the government decided to hand over that administrative work to the military. In 3 months, the military had national security had all the applications responded to all the applications in 3 months, and all was assigned, and they made selections. So you cannot put one person or a group of persons who do not have military training or police training, because we know that we just be clear, we know that we cannot have 100% confidence in the police service
under the current structure.
We have to
under the current structure.
Yes, and we have to take, it will take a lot of time. Remember, these people, they are criminals that is undercover using the uniform, and they will try their best to give their friends and have a a bandit license, you know.
The history of the recruiting under the police service of Trinidad and Tobago, we know how that went down. I mean, it was a friends and family, and Eric William imported who he had to import and put in straight in the police force, So, I mean, that structure is there. Now, it has changed a little bit coming up from when Basi Pandey became prime minister, but there's still a lot to fix, and they're not hiring according to qualification. They was hiring according to friends, family, and association, right?
Yes. That is a crime as well, you know.
So you couldn't go up against that network where we are, and if you open your mouth, you're dead before you even know it, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Some officer gun went off accidentally, and that will decimate you. Somebody's in the station, somebody gun went off accidentally, and you are the one who paying for that.
Yeah, and MP5 went out. Just imagine MP5 went out accidentally. You know what bullets coming out the MP5?
Yeah.
Several times that has happened, Gary. We all know that. But it's only, I always say, it's only one ethnic group that suffer like that. And more often than not, is the ones who know that something is wrong and they want to speak out against it. So, according to Parum, you say they neutralize him one time. It's rotten from the top. This is where I see it. The whole damn force.
There are certain things we have to change this time around in government, and let's see how it goes. Like I said, we will make our recommendation directly to the Prime Minister, and anybody on any side doesn't have to listen, but we will let her know what we think.
We tell her we support her 100 or 1,000% to arm all Trinidadians. That's all. She like that. She want that. But the thing is, she has to make what is she's doing. Look, my point of view, what is she's doing? Making sure that there's no contrademanda. How you say?
Contradiction.
Contradiction by law. You see, by law, she's very intelligent.
She will deal. She's a very experienced lawyer. She will deal with all the litigation issues to make sure,
Yeah,
because
that has
there are laws that are protecting illegal activities in such a way that is very dressed up, very nice. So she's trying her best. She's trying her best to make sure that this law is abolished and put proper law for law-abiding students without having another law blocking her. You know what I'm translating my Spanish,
With all the litigation issues, she would deal with it. Yeah.
and human rights things. You see, when you violate human rights, you automatically lose your human rights. You understand? So these fellas who defend criminals and these ex-ministers in the PNM government who place law, if you investigate these fellas supported a lot of gangsters and these things like that. So she's trying, and they support the gangsters by making laws to defend them in technical way. One thing is a law, next thing is a technical law. You understand? So she's trying her best to not to have backfire when they give you a firearm, a license and your arms, right? So we have to be patient with her, but yet stand firm with her as well.
correct.
Oh, well, I have to get anything else?
No, it's well said, well said.
Yeah.
But at the end of the
I,
day, we have
I
to
want
look
to
at the
see.
progress.
Yes,
Yes.
I want to see Trinidad like Dubai, better than Dubai.
We get in
Well,
there.
We have to do enough in the first 5 years that we can retain government in order to achieve those things. And people have to understand that we are on our way to making a better life for them. And and hopefully we can keep on educating the younger people that they make the right decision, just like how they did.
Yes.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Gary, I think we're on the same page when it comes to the appeal process, right? One man alone cannot handle that show, right? He can't deal with that capacity. So it has to be a much better flow, much more efficient. And and I mean, you suggested moving it now to the municipality or something, right? Or to the local
Yeah, it
police
has to be
precinct.
broken down to the municipal. We cannot continue. You see
Yeah.
this ancient colonial legal system that we have. We have to
correct.
restructure
It's
that.
outdated.
I mean,
Correct.
It's outdated.
we fought for independence. We both of independence, 63 years of independence, and you are still enslaved by colonial values, ancient things that even don't match up to the times that we live in. Laws have to be upgraded to suit the times that you live in.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
So
It has to be revised.
and we have to get rid of some of these. I mean, I am happy to have a young thinking prime minister. She's youthful in her thinking, and she adjusts to us. And so we have to get rid of these dinosaurs in the legal system that are hanging on to these old laws and enslaved by it and not looking at what's happening around them. Because you see, the thing about it, maintaining the status quo is causing some people to benefit, right? And that is why they held on to it so they keep some people dumbfounded to keep themselves empowered. But we have to keep educating the people,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
No.
All right. Well, fellas, I am nice
so
speaking to you all.
we could wrap up. Thank you for taking the time, Dr. Farum and Ken and Suman. Anything else? Last words, guy?
Well, with all that we have discussed today, if there's no legislation to back up what we are saying, I mean, we're opening ourselves to a lot of litigation, whether it's in the community-based, security in the parks and so on. granting of FULs, and all that pertains to the security aspect. There's legislation has to be enacted, and according to Gary, all these old legislation in the books from 1960 and so on have to be just eradicated from it, and have new legal system where you could fast track things. You know, we in an age where technology, but are we using the technology in the right way to make, you know,
Exactly.
maximum benefit, to get maximum benefit for these things? Simple thing like, okay, the FUL form, there's certain criteria, right? If you put all of those applications in an AI model, it will kick out those right away who are not eligible. And so you have, instead of 20,000, you have 10,000 now to deal with. And, you know, then you could go through it, every station, let's say, Sando, Princeton, Superior. You farm out the things based on location and where the applicants come from. So, you know, there's a great likelihood that the person who is applying, let's say I'm in Faizabad, that, you know, Superior Faizabad, Sando would have to know me if I'm a prominent person. So the thing is that you got a faster and a speedier action on it, rather than everything going into Guevara and Port of Spain. He don't know. He just treating it as first come, first serve kind of way. So God forbid you are on the 9,999. That means you're second to last. That process might take 3 years before he can do something.
Maybe 20. We talk about 3 years. 3 years is good. 20 years. There are people waiting 20 years for FUL.
And Ken and I discussed this yesterday. Exactly the same thing. What
by that time the bandit don't got to you already.
The bandits kill your grandchildren too.
He graduated. Exactly, that's the point. He has graduated now. He was a petty theft guy. He has graduated. Got his masters in killing now.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's a matter of high importance.
Yes.
A gun license takes here 21. I will 21. I don't know how you say it. It does not include Saturday and Sunday. I will
21 working days.
21 working days. Only take that. What happened here is when you get into the process is 3 days. The application, 3 days. You make the 3 days, 72 hours after. Just put in system if you have any criminal activity. No criminal activity. Okay. Second stage, you get a medical evaluation. You must not be of any high risk sickness like cancer or
mental disease or anything like
mental disease. The physical examination. You have to have good eyesight. You have to have a good. Even so, they check your your teeth, right? And third stage, psychological doctors. They are psychiatrists and psychiatrists. No,
they
check you.
Yeah, but also beside all of that, you know what we say, practice make perfect. So you have to practice like a fire drill. You understand?
Then after
there's no practice to shoot in the range. You see, you know from the range you encounter a situation on the street in your house. So now you have to do these scenarios, and the more you practice it, because you have to be mentally conscious of what's around you, because you might be fully distracted with the criminal situation in front of you and you end up firing that gun, hitting the wrong person. We don't want to do that. You understand?
No.
We want to practice that you engage in a jostle with the guy. You are able to maneuver yourself and turn yourself in a position where you can fire the gun, stop the threat, and not shoot anybody else.
And also,
because when you fire that bullet, you can't control it. All right, so you have to know what's around you. You have to observe what's around you. You have to train and condition your mind to observe what's around you quickly before you fire that gun.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely. And also,
after the 21 days of the application, you finish this. Then after they give you the application, now you have to go and do 3 months courses of how you say maniobra de armamento, arms maneuver, arm training, and what to do, what not to do in situations. You have grade 1, 2, 3, and 4.
It's part of the self-defense training there.
Yes, yes, defense training in 4 stages: in home, civilian, how you should address your firearm, how you should keep it safe, safety keeping in house, all these things that a civilian should do. Now, most of these,
You know, we had a situation not too long ago where a guy ended up shooting his own mother because he was responding to the bandit that are attacking. You understand?
Right.
He ended up killing his own mother in a street, buying some doubles or something like that. You know. So we
Right.
have to we have to really condition our mind and how to function.
yes, even though as well you're training in how to safety arms, you are taught laws and regulations that you anybody that holds a firearm has to know, right? So practice, and you have to do every 3 months renewal of the permit lasts 5 years. Every 3 months you have to make actualizaciones. On every year you have to take mental checkup on your situation, on your to keep your firearm armed, and that is managed here by the military service. Now, if you are
that's correct.
if you are ex-police or a police officer or military or ex-military officer, your process, you do not have to go through that process because you're already capable of managing firearms, right? So you just take your 21 days, but your service time, that is, you got other benefit.
Yeah, because as Gary mentioned, you know, we don't want people making a mistake when eating a doubles and shooting the wrong person.
Yes, yes,
stuff.
yes.
That's like
Because
It took place. They stopped to buy some doubles. The guy was attacked. He was a prison officer, and he fired a gun. Ended up hitting his own mother. You know,
Yeah, so
because they would. Yeah, and I mean that is something that's the worst thing that you ever want to happen to her. You know.
yes, yes.
and that's
yes.
where the training,
But the
the
training,
periodic training
Yeah,
would
I mean,
come in.
and you know, you listen to me. Even though you have a gun, you don't have to always use the gun. You can defend yourself, you know, without pulling the gun. You know, a lot of times, you know, if you're that skilled. But I'm just saying, if you're using the gun, you have to mentally condition your mind. This is a lot of practice to know what's around you, be conscious of what's around you. You're firing the gun. Make sure you fire the gun at a distance where you could hit the person you're hitting and not hit nobody else.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Also,
definitely.
along with that, Gary, like in home invasion and so on, it's not only the firearm you use, and the whole family has to be trained and alert and have to know what to do in such certain situations.
And
You
where
have
to retreat to. It's just like a
Yeah.
fire drill. You have to know where to
Correct.
retreat to. Somebody comes in the house, you get out the way, retreat to an area.
Correct. Absolutely. You just know, hey, people have to be trained and know what to do. What to do. Okay, it's a home visit. Okay, you know where you have to stand. This kid, he knows where he has to stand under the table, under the bed, whatever it is. Certain drills have to be, done along the way. So, as you're mentally preparing yourself, from the time you see a band, hey, you have your codes where you can instruct your family, get to your positions, and you just open the clip one time. You don't have to think, because you have to make a split decision thinking. And when you're doing split decision thinking, sometimes you make the wrong decision, but that can be forgiven.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to practice these drills. You have to
Correct.
practice it, not
You
just
have
on the
to
range. You
and
have to condition, and the only way you get to do this is you have to practice it.
And you have to practice it with your family, those in the household. The
Yeah,
people in the
yeah.
household has to be aware.
Definitely.
Don't go and stand up by the window or something. Don't do those things. So you have to condition yourself, practice these things.
And your wife don't have to jump and hold you and stop you. Some women don't want to jump in the fight and hold you. Your wife have to understand, get out your way, take your children and retreat. Don't
Exactly.
come around me.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest mistakes. And the other mistake too is go after the criminal. If he goes in your house and he run away out of your house, the mistake is with some people, they go after the criminal. That is a crime. He goes, okay, your grounds is your four walls. That's all. Don't go after the criminal because you can get yourself in serious problems with the law or be killed.
Yeah, that's right.
Correct. There is so
It
much
all takes practice and education and mental conditioning, because if you don't practice, I'm telling you, the way I see it is things are going to happen and you're not going to be ready to respond. You may think you have it, but you don't.
You don't.
You see, about in 2009, I had an experience with a colleague of mine, and when the criminal activities was very high here, he's a dentist, and was on my way to speak with him, and I saw when a guy approached to his van. You say van, no? His camioneta, SUV, his very nice car, and it was to take away. And I saw this. It was very strange. He opened the door. The guy opened the door. Three of them opened the door. One sit in the front, and the next one sit in the back, and the next one here opened the door. Now, what happened? I heard the sound, the gunshot. And when I heard the gunshot, I saw the two of them hug each other, right? And the other two fellas left the van, came out. Oh, this is a atraco, a robbery.
Yeah.
A robbery, right? And what happened? I was in time there to take up my firearm and go to rescue him, no? And when he was there, I couldn't give. I had also secure the area and take his baby out of the back seat. That was my first instinct. Take off the baby from the back seat because I went in, see the baby, and secure him. I thought he was shot. It was blood all over himself, right? He neutralized the bandit, right? So the police came. They came about 6 minutes. 6 minutes. They arrived. I didn't call them. Neither did him. The people who was around called, and when they went, the guy who was bleeding, he was still alive. The police said, "Why you leave him alive for?" Right? So you should have finished him. Right. Now, after the interrogation, they had not interrogation. They had an interview with the guy who was shot. That's the way to put it. An interview. About 6 days after, they find the other two. You see? They find the other two. The dentist as well has his firearm. What would take place with him? They will kill him, kill his child, or take everything that is in. And he's a dentist. You see? A simple dentist. And he protect himself in such a way that today he's alive.
Right. And when you're handling these firearms and so on, when you're by yourself, it's different to when you're with your wife and family and so on around the household, because you can take risk if you're alone. But when you have your family and so, like in this case, the baby in the back of the back seat, you think twice. So these things are to condition yourself mentally. What are you going to do beforehand? Because, hey, when I'm alone, I'll take any risk. I'll dive through a window or anything like that. But when you have family,
you say the drill, right? Practice. I told my wife when just in case what to do. When I say lie down, don't ask me anything. Don't
Correct.
ask me anything. Just lie down. When I say get up, we have code that we practice here in the house. Practice in the apartment. I practice in the streets, even by the traffic lights, because traffic lights are more vulnerable areas that where you can be held, right? So
You
I
can get
say,
ambushed. You can get ambushed.
yes, ambush is the way. Yeah, so I say, get down, just get down. Don't ask questions. Don't ask questions. We did it several times, and I did it. I said, just get down. Yeah, actually get down. Practice that. The first 3 times you don't. The first 3 times you don't get that grip. When I say get down, or signal on the car, I touch the steering. She knows, or something is wrong. Things like that, you know. So practice and drilling is very important, but yet the stubbornness of members of family. I had a niece. I say, hey, shut up, let's get out of here. There's bandits in the area. She looked around and said, hey, here's no bandit. Man, I give her a good hand. And I drag her out.
Yeah.
I put her on the drag her out of the man. And then when after these fellas know, these fellas know your cuenta, know that they were detected. Everybody there detected there as well what I did, you know. But safety is, man, if you go to a supermarket or something can happen. Simple go wrong. Oh, I forget a juice. I forget something and something happened. See, today we are in a society where human beings are predators of human beings, right? And that we have to change that. We are more territorial than the animal kingdom. That's our natural instinct to be territorial, and another human who invades our privacy or our property is a threat, right? Is a threat. It's not even with family members as well. If you can look at it that way, the scientific way of our behavior and our response to that negative behavior of others, right? Well, fellas, I wish peace and blessings to all. Bless Trinidad and Tobago. Bless the US. Bless Venezuela. And I bless all of you. All right? Okay.
Good night.
Have a good one. All right?
All right. Have a good
Bless
one.
you, Gary.
Good night,
Gary?
brother. We'll talk again.
Good night.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, gentlemen. So we wrap up. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
All right. So I'll let you guys know if anything coming up.
Not a problem.
Okay.
Good night. Have a stay safe.
Okay,
all.
Gary,
Take care.
send the video
Bye-bye.
for me.
Yeah, I'm
Send
going
the
to send
video
the
for
video
me.
now. Good night,
Okay.
everybody. Thank you
Okay.
for joining.
Bye.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Okay.